Hello, investors. Welcome to EBS Invest. Today we're looking at the ticker SBUX, also known as Starbucks. I'm sure you guys have been to Starbucks or you have at least seen their drinks. You definitely know their logo, the mermaid. And so Starbucks is a roaster, marketer, and retail specialty of coffee. So they make coffee as well as they have food at their coffee shops, but they're an international company with developments in other regions. Their big thing now is China. Once China opens up, that's really going to be good. They make a lot of breakfast sandwiches and lunch items, and the company does have licensed store as well as grocery and food service. So this here is Starbucks. So you can see year to date, Starbucks is down 30%. In the past month, it's up 8%. So we've had like a little bit of a market rally once we hit this bottom here. Seems to be that a lot of stocks are having a little rally. But on the 5-year chart, Starbucks is up 36%, and all-time Starbucks is up 345%. So you can see every time Starbucks has had a decline, it has always come back stronger and hit new highs. We're going to talk about if this decline here can do the same thing. So let's jump into the video here. All right. So we're looking at Starbucks revenue broken down by product. So you can see we don't have the 2022 data. I checked all over, even went on Starbucks investor relations page, and I couldn't get any data for 2022. So maybe they're reporting a little later. But you can see over time, Starbucks revenue has increased. In 2010, we're looking at about $6 billion. Now looking at 18 for beverages. So it has increased year over year for beverages. Food, we're seeing the same thing. You can see 5 billion here, but back then 1.8 billion. Package and civil and package and singles. Maybe they cut it out in 2020, 2021. I'm not exactly sure. There's no data here, but this number looks to be plateauing since 2013 and on. Not too much growth and actually a little bit of a decline here. And other revenues have been increasing as well. I'm guessing this is, merchandise sales, cup sales, maybe other ways that Starbucks is making money. But you can see overall, Starbucks has increased their revenue nicely, and their products and services seem to be increasing as well. So looking at Starbucks financials a little bit deeper into the company, like I said before, we're looking at an increased revenue compared to 2018. So that's a nice check there. We're seeing gross profit has increased as well. So that's a nice check. You can see that a little bit of general admin stuff has increased, but they're probably onboarding a lot of new employees and items such as that. But you can see net income has increased, but it's also been kind of stagnant. It's actually down from 2018, but it's up from 2019. And 2020 was a black swan event for them. We had the COVID crash, and that really messed up a lot of the company. They just shut down stores, and employees weren't able to work, and people were buying less coffee. So, it looks to be the Starbucks is doing pretty well. They do seem to be lowering their debt compared, -2, but now -1. But otherwise than that, it looks to be that they're positive and net income is positive. And so looking at their gross margin is actually pretty solid. And it looks to be their profit margin is a little small, but it's doable. And of course, the 4 there. So anyways, we will move on. So this here, we're doing Starbucks stock analysis. So you can see, I'll just pull up the SPY here for comparison. And we will make this yellow. So you can see down here, the SPY has also fallen. I think everybody knows that. But you can see Starbucks has fallen a lot too within that. So, Starbucks is very much on the downslide. And so it's in this nice bear flag here. And so could that be due to the market? Definitely. People buying a lot less coffee due to inflation, most likely. I think people are being a little bit more conscientious about their spending. But I'd like to point out this, it seems to be we have this resistance line here that's been kind of holding up the stock. So I just put this resistance bar. It potentially could just be due to this nice little resistance band that we kind of see stretching um, across the stock. But then also I think the big resistance is right down here, right at this big bar. You can see we have resistance here as well as here, here, and then here. So a nice little big stretch. So I think um, if Starbucks was to keep falling, it would fall, it'd have to break through this resistance, and then it'd most likely hit here where it would bounce. I don't think Starbucks would go any lower, and I don't think it'd go as low as the COVID crash. So I think um, Starbucks is pretty safe around this resistance level, but you know, it could fall lower. So I'd have to say Starbucks most likely, this is the way I'd do it. I'd basically just dollar cost average your way in, especially around here. And you can see Starbucks is having a little bit of consolidation. Potentially it could be moving this way, and I could be wrong with that, right? I'm not a big technical trader, but you can tell they're having some consolidation here. It looks to be that there's a lot of resistance, so it might be upholding the stock a little bit, and Starbucks likely go that way. But it also does depend a lot with what the market wants to do, especially down here in the SPY. If the SPY continues to fall, like I said in my Apple video, then I think Starbucks will continue to fall. But I don't think it'll break this resistance. This resistance is just a little strong. So do as you must, but I would recommend just dollar cost averaging your way in. Wait for a nice red day. You're on a very nice discount, as you can see. You're not buying at the top, you're buying down here. And so I think really any price below $80 seems to be a nice solid pickup. But we'll go in to the price analysis here and we'll see if that analysis is correct. So you can see here looking at Starbucks. So I just entered the ticker. We're going to go back here and we're going to find the growth rate. And so the way you do that is you go to Yahoo Finance and you just go to the analysis page. And all you have to look for here down here is you just look for the next 5-year growth estimation. I don't know why Starbucks doesn't have this in. We'll just go with the 7.88 and maybe we'll just add a little bit more. They have been growing nicely over the past 5, but I think to be conservative, we'll just go with 7% and then maybe we'll adjust there to see how we're doing. So I think Starbucks at 7%. Um, Looks to be that you don't have much upside. Looks to be you only gain about $4, $3 there. But I think if Starbucks has, they grow at 14% of the past 5. So maybe if they grow at a nice 9% over the next few years, I think Starbucks is about 96. So you really have to ask yourself, is Starbucks worth it at that 7% growth? I would probably say no. You're better off finding a different stock. But if you truly believe Starbucks will continue to grow, developments in China and other regions, maybe in other Asian countries, and potentially Europe, and continuing that growth rate, you will be looking at a very nice gain here. And so I would have to say at the 9, you'd probably want to target that $76.88 range, which you're not far off, and that's kind of what I said when we were looking at the stock. And so that's something to consider. And then also you have to consider with inflation. Let's say Starbucks only grows at 5% due to inflation. I think Starbucks will fall to about $70 and it'll probably hang out about there. So really got to ask yourself, how important will inflation in this next recession potentially be? But if you think in the next 5 years the Starbucks can turn it around, increase those property, increase sales and revenue, especially new areas such as China, and get to that 9 to 10%, which I think is conservative considering they're at 15% growth over the 5 years. So I'd personally say Starbucks is a buy if you get it below and you get it in that 76 range. You got to wait for it to fall a little bit. But like I said in my analysis over on the stock chart here, I definitely did say you guys should probably just be dollar cost averaging your way in um, right over here. So I think if you guys dollar cost average way in right in this area, and even if Starbucks continues to fall into the 60s, I think once Starbucks in a few years' time, maybe a little bit of consolidation, and you just keep buying all along here. Then once Starbucks gets that growth rate going, China starts to open up again, all these other regions, inflation's out of the way, and white girls start buying more coffee. Um, then I think Starbucks is off to that nice little bull run, and we'll probably get back to that $90 range. So that's personally not my analysis. I'd also like to show you guys one more thing. I think I think we should take a look at the dividend. So you can see they do have a high dividend. It's 50% payout ratio, but they have a very, very nice growth rate and a very nice dividend. So besides the stock, you're going to be getting, even if you dollar cost average in, you're going to be getting a nice dividend. And so I definitely think Starbucks is a buy below that in that $76 range. But I think it's a great way to dollar cost average in. Do as you must. Does Starbucks fit your portfolio? Is Starbucks a company you're interested in? Maybe there's another restaurant. But that's my Starbucks analysis, guys. I hope you guys have a great and wonderful rest of your day. Remember to subscribe and like the content. It really helps with the algorithm. And make sure to leave a comment. Any advice is appreciated. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.